Jonah and the big fish. God gives second chances. A long time ago, in a quiet little town, there lived a man named Jonah. He loved God and talked with him. Jonah was used to hearing God's voice. Sometimes, God would give Jonah special messages to share with people, and Jonah would listen. But one day, God told Jonah something that he didn't like at all. "Jonah," God said gently, "I want you to go to a city called Nineveh." "Nineveh," Jonah whispered. His eyes grew wide, and his heart began to pound. "Yes," God said, "the people in Nineveh are doing very bad things. They are hurting each other and making evil choices. I want you to go there and tell them to stop. Tell them to change their ways." Jonah took a deep breath. He didn't like this message, not one bit. But God, Jonah thought, the people of Nineveh are our enemies. They are cruel and mean. They won't listen to me. What if they laugh at me? Or worse, what if they hurt me? Jonah didn't want to go, not at all. So instead of obeying, he ran. He packed his bag quickly, looked over his shoulder, and hurried through the streets. Instead of going toward Nineveh, Jonah walked the other way, toward a place called Tarshish, far, far away. He came to a big sea and found a ship getting ready to sail. "Please," Jonah asked the captain, "can I come with you?" The captain nodded. "Get on board. We leave soon." Jonah climbed onto the boat and found a spot to rest deep down inside. He curled up and closed his eyes. Maybe God wouldn't find him here. Maybe if he went far enough, God would forget. But you can't run from God. He's everywhere, and he loves us too much to let us hide. As the ship sailed farther into the deep blue sea, the wind began to blow. The clouds turned dark. The waves grew big, bigger than houses. They slapped the boat and tossed it like a toy. Crack! The sails ripped. Boom! Thunder roared. Crash! A wave poured over the side. The sailors were terrified. They had never seen a storm like this before. "Why is this happening?" they shouted. "Everyone, pray to your gods. Maybe someone will help us." Jonah was still below, sleeping, but he couldn't hide forever. The captain found him and shook his shoulder. "Wake up, Jonah. Don't you care that we're about to sink? Pray to your God." Jonah sat up slowly. His heart felt heavy. He knew this storm was because of him. He stood in the rain and told the sailors, "This is my fault. I ran away from the one true God. If you throw me into the sea, the storm will stop." The sailors stared at him. "We can't do that." But the storm grew louder. The boat creaked and cracked. Finally, they had no choice. "God of Jonah," they prayed, "please forgive us." Then they picked Jonah up and tossed him into the sea. Splash! And just like that, the wind stopped, the waves calmed, the storm was over. The sailors looked around in awe. "The God of Jonah is real," they whispered. "He's powerful and good." But Jonah, he was sinking, down, down, down into the deep, dark water. Cold and alone, he opened his eyes and saw nothing but bubbles and seaweed. His lungs burned. His heart beat fast. "I'm going to die," he thought. But God had other plans. From the shadows of the sea, something huge swam toward Jonah. A giant fish. Its mouth opened wide, and before Jonah could scream, whoosh! The fish swallowed him whole. Inside the belly of the fish, it was dark and slimy. The walls squished and moved. It smelled like old seaweed and rotten fish. Jonah coughed and cried. His body shook. But then he prayed. "Dear God," he whispered in the dark, "I'm sorry. I was wrong. You asked me to go to Nineveh and I ran away. Please forgive me. I know now. I can't run from you. I will do what you ask. Thank you for saving me." Jonah stayed inside the fish for 3 whole days and 3 nights. He had time to think, time to listen, time to trust. And on the 3rd day, the fish swam close to the shore, opened its giant mouth, and spit Jonah out right onto the sand. Splat! Jonah lay on the beach, covered in seaweed, salt, and fish slime. He blinked up at the bright sun. He took a deep breath of fresh air. And then he smiled. He was alive. God had saved him. This time, when God said, "Jonah, go to Nineveh," Jonah said, "Yes, God, I will go." He brushed the sand off his clothes, washed his face, and walked to the big city. Nineveh was noisy and busy. People were shouting, trading, laughing, and sometimes fighting. But Jonah stood tall and brave. "Listen," he called out. "God says you must stop doing wrong. You have 40 days to change your ways." The people paused. They listened. They looked at each other. And something amazing happened. They believed him. From the smallest child to the king himself, they listened to Jonah. They stopped being mean. They said sorry. They tried to do better. God saw this, and he smiled. He forgave them. Jonah sat outside the city on a hill, waiting to see what would happen. When he saw that God wasn't going to punish the city, he felt upset. "God," Jonah said, "I knew you would forgive them. You are always kind and slow to anger. That's why I didn't want to come here." He crossed his arms and pouted. God gently sent a leafy plant to grow over Jonah and give him shade. Jonah felt cooler and happier, but the next day the plant was gone, and Jonah was hot and cranky again. God spoke softly to Jonah. "Jonah, why are you upset about a plant, but not about a whole city full of people? I made them too. I love them. Shouldn't I care for them?" Jonah was quiet. His heart began to soften. He had learned something very important. God gives second chances. To Jonah, to the people of Nineveh, to you and to me. God is always ready to give us another chance. Even when we make mistakes, he still loves us and wants us to do the right thing. Just like Jonah, we can always talk to God, say sorry, and start again. Dear God, thank you for loving me, even when I mess up. Help me to listen when you speak. Help me to say sorry and do what's right. Thank you for second chances. I want to follow you every day. Amen. Thanks for listening to our story about Jonah and the big fish. If you like the story and want to hear more Bible adventures, please share this with your friends. Click like and subscribe so you won't miss the next story. Your support helps other kids hear about God's love and his amazing plans for them. See you next time.